Money is like a stage, and whether we realize it or not, we're all actors in this play. Some days you're playing the hustle hero, working harder than anyone but secretly exhausted, and other days you're the bill dodger, avoiding those envelopes on the counter like they're audition scripts that you don't want to read. Here's the thing though, none of these roles are permanent. You're not locked into any of them. They're just characters that we slip into, roles that we slip into. And the best news is you get to choose a new role at any moment. Today we're kicking off a series where we're going to talk about some of the money roles that you might be slipping into and what to do when you fall into these roles that you don't want to choose anymore. So let's get to it. Welcome back to Money Simplified. I'm your host, Amy Circa. Today we are kicking off a money role series. And I've got a fun little mini quiz that I'm going to kick this off with. And essentially what I want to make sure that we talk about is there are roles that we've all played, we've all stepped into, we've all done these things when it comes to money. And we're going to highlight some of the ones that sabotage your relationship with money, some of those money roles that we've slipped into. But make sure to stay tuned because at the end we're going to talk about the money role that I think we really want to embody. Of course, you know, it's up to you, but there's limitations with these roles. And this isn't about beating yourself up. And more than likely, you're going to see parts of yourself in many of these roles. And that's okay because we've stepped into these roles, right? But the key is you can step out and you can choose a different one. Okay, so let's kick this off with a little fun mini quiz. I'm going to read out a few short descriptions, and every time you hear one that's like, oh yeah, that's me, just jot it down, think about it in your head, and at the end, we're going to know which money roles you've been slipping into, playing into most often. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I'm going to cover here. This is less than half of the money roles that we're going to cover in the upcoming episodes, okay? So you don't have to fit into just one box. Most of us are going to recognize ourselves in more than one role. There's nothing wrong with you. It's completely normal. This is for your observation information, okay? So, ready. First one that I want to kind of highlight here is the hustle hero. And the hustle hero believes if I just work harder, my money problems will fix themselves. Okay? And I've got my hand up here. I've been this person. I've been the hustle hero. So here's an example for you. You stayed up till midnight working, and maybe, and this kind of like slides into another role as well, but maybe you stayed up until midnight working on something that wasn't the thing that really needs to be done. Like maybe it was updating the website instead of getting your numbers up to date, or listening to a training as opposed to sending that pitch email, whatever it might be, okay? Hustle hero though, they feel like they just can work harder and the money problems are going to fix themselves, okay? Another role here is the bill dodger. And the bill dodger avoids opening bills or bank statements until, air quotes, I'm in the mood. We both know that you're never in the mood, right? Like, but we put it off. It's like, okay, I'm not in the space for this right now. And there is a time and place for that, right? But ongoing patterns, you're sliding into the bill dodger role, okay? An example would be you've got unopened envelopes sitting on the counter for weeks, but in the world of digital, you don't even technically have to have the unopened envelopes. Maybe it's you haven't checked the bank account. You haven't looked at a bank statement in weeks, months, year, at some point. We're avoiding it. Next is the generous giver. And the generous giver tends to overgive, discount, or undercharge because charging more feels selfish. Maybe you've thrown in extra work for a client without charging because you felt bad, or you give a discount because there's no way that that they don't need to pay the full price, right? Like let me give you a discount. Let me do this thing for you. I feel like we need to let that one sit for a minute, because there's ways to do these things in alignment. but these roles are not in alignment. And we'll get to that when we get to the ideal role here at the end. of the series. Okay, next one I want to highlight here is the self-care spender. So you buy things to feel better. You call it self-care or business growth, even though you really can't afford it. Maybe it's a networking thing, or you bought another course to fix your business, but you didn't ever actually do anything with the last one. We're just jumping into a new one. This is going to be it. This is going to solve all my problems. This is the person I need to learn from. This is it. This is the skills. It's going to fix it. Self-care spender right there. The next one is the Spreadsheet Dreamer. So the Spreadsheet Dreamer is the person that starts a budget or a tracker with excitement, but they don't follow through. How many different apps have you tried, you dived into, but you haven't actually stuck with one, right? You've spent hours color coding a spreadsheet in January, getting it all ready because it's the first of the year, and then never touched it again. The next one here is the lone wolf. Oh, this one sounds familiar. I feel like I should have figured this out myself, so I avoid investing in support. Now, I did invest in support, but that I should have figured this out myself. Yeah, feel that part. So maybe you thought, I should know how to do this. I should know how to manage this instead of asking for help or looking for support. The comparison spender. So she buys things to keep up with her peers in business or lifestyle. Everyone else has this thing, so let me go purchase it. Maybe you signed up for a mastermind because your friends did, but it doesn't fit in your budget, but you wanted to look good. You wanted to fit in with everybody else. Last one I want to highlight in this intro here is the perfectionist. The perfectionist obsesses over doing their finances perfectly, and then they quit when they make a mistake. For example, maybe you missed tracking one receipt, one expense, something's off, you feel like you failed, and then you gave up altogether. I've seen this happen with bookkeeping and accounting before. You've done the steps, you're trying to reconcile, and then it's off by like 5 cents. And it's just like, oh, that's it, I'm done. And you walk away and you don't go back to it because you got frustrated and the perfection shows up. All right. So how many of those sounded like you? Sounded like things that you fell into. Maybe you've nodded to one or two, and maybe you saw yourself in half the list. Maybe you've seen yourself in different phases in all of them. That's okay. Remember, they're just roles that you've been playing. That's not who you are. That's not who you are as a person. Roles can change. So the next time, if you find yourself slipping into one of these roles, I've got a tool, a reset practice that I want to leave you with here in this intro episode, okay? So I want you to pause. Take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Ideally, we're breathing in for 4, exhaling for 8, or in for 6, exhaling for 8. Longer on the exhale, okay? Then put your hand over your heart and say this mantra with me. I can choose a new role at any moment. Money supports me when I show up today. That's it. Simple. You'll step out of the old script and step into one that supports your peace and growth. And before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something though. You can choose that you're stepping out of the old role. You're stepping out of the old script. But you don't have to reinvent everything right now. Choose that you're no longer going to live in that role that was self-sabotaging you. And be open to the possibility. Be open to what's next. What could happen? What would you want this to look like? Get into curiosity as opposed to trying to have it all figured out now. Trying to have it all figured out now, it's almost kind of like the perfectionist, right? We're self-sabotaging. So with this mantra, with this reset that we're doing, we're stepping out of the old role, and you don't have to choose a new one right now. Just sit. And that can be freaking uncomfortable. Sit in the uncomfortableness. You know that you don't want to be that person anymore. Let's give it space to figure out what you want to be, who you want to be next. Okay? In the next episode, I'm going to start breaking down clusters of the money roles in more detail. We're going to go into like what's happening underneath them and how we step into healthier roles. That way you can catch yourself when you're sliding into those, start to understand the habits and the beliefs that are underneath these actions that we're taking, and really be able to shift into a money role that you desire to have. And if you want to go deeper right now, then grab my Money Mindset Playbook. It's designed to help you uncover the beliefs and patterns that are showing up and shaping your money story, because your mindset and the money role, your money identity that you play, go hand in hand. I'm going to drop that link in the show notes for you. It's amycirca.com/mindset. Go grab the Money Mindset Playbook and let's keep rewriting your money story together.